Brazil have a track record of producing some of the very best footballing wonderkids. From Pelé to Ronaldo to Hendrick and a whole host more in between. The question is though, who are the next gen to shine in the yellow shirts of Brazil? In today's video, I will show you 5 Brazilian wonderkids to keep your eye on in 2024 using the magic of Football Manager 2024. In real life, PSG have just splashed the cash to land the player called the Joker. After gaining interest from a number of big European clubs, the Brazilian chose to try and make a name for himself in the French capital. He will be due an attribute upgrade when the winter update comes around, but at the start of the game you can already see that he is a gifted defender. With a well-rounded set of physicals, he utilises other areas of his game to excel. He scores highly for positioning and anticipation, whilst in the technical areas he is solid at heading, marking and tackling, whilst his 12 for passing should see him be able to play out from the back. In 2033, the game has predicted he would be at Manchester United. At the age of 29, he has fully developed as a player. Those physical attributes have all taken a step forward. He now scores 16 for his positioning, anticipation and concentration. The technicals haven't taken as big of a step forward, but you can see that he has everything needed to be a starter in the Premier League. I think he is a fantastic talent and will definitely be one to keep an eye on as he progresses through his career in France. Lorran has become an essential player in the Brazil under-17 setup, having recently helped them to win the South American Championship. For his club, he became Flamengo's youngest ever goal scorer and has forced his way to be a regular in the first team. He has been linked with a move to a number of Premier League clubs, and he's even said to be on Real Madrid's radar. He starts the game aged 17 and shows that he needs to have improvement in his game to reach his potential. His game is built around pace and acceleration. He scores highly for flair, off the ball and decisions, meaning he will be a nightmare for defenders when that is paired up with his dribbling, passing and technique. The only downside to his game seems to be his determination, which scores low at just 3. In 2033, the game predicts that he'll be back in Brazil after spells in Denmark and Portugal. He hasn't developed as well as the hype around him in real life suggests, but he still does retain the abilities that he had at the age of 26. With only 144 games in 10 years, it is clear that first team football is going to be vital for his development. Despite the game not showing off his full potential, I believe in real life he will take a step forward, and if a move to Europe does materialise, he will become one of the next big Brazilian wonderkids. 16-year-old Estevao Willian is one of the most talked about Brazilian wonderkids at the present time. Despite his young age, he has been turning heads with his performances for Palmeiras, whilst also representing Brazil at under-17s level. He has been linked with a lot of big clubs and recently revealed it would be his dream to sign for Barcelona. At the start of FM24, you'll find a player that is ready to take the next step in his development. An intelligent player who can adapt to a number of roles and positions either centrally or from the right hand side of the pitch. At 16, he already has a good set of physical attributes. His mentals do need some working on, but he has standouts of flair, off the ball and vision. When he gets to the technicals, you can see he is a player who will like to move with the ball. His main attributes are dribbling, finishing, passing and technique. In 2033, his career path in this save would take him to Liverpool via AC Milan. You can see instantly he has a massive step forward in his abilities. At the age of 26, he is now a player moving into his prime and looks a devastating player. His physicals now have attributes which include pace and acceleration of 16. He has standout mentals of vision, off the ball, composure and decisions. As for his technicals, he looks a defender's nightmare, dribbling, finishing, passing all of 17, first touch and technique of 16. He has scored 110 goals in 253 games. This is a special player if he fulfills his potential in real life. We have heard a lot about other wonderkids who have come to Europe and excelled, and this is a player that I think will take it all in his stride and has the potential to join the elite Brazilian wonderkids. Gabriel Moscardo has been described as the prototype modern-day defensive midfielder at just the age of 17. Having now become a regular in the Corinthians first team, he is catching the eyes of all the big European scouts as they line him up to move across the globe. Barcelona, Chelsea and Arsenal are set to lead the way to tempt him away from Corinthians. At the start of FM24, he is 17 years old and looks like a player way ahead of his years. He can play as a defensive midfielder or as an orthodox midfielder, and looking at his attributes, they show he is a natural and will only get better. He already possesses a good set of physical attributes. To go with those, he has standout mentals of determination, positioning, concentration, composure and decisions. In his technicals, you'll instantly notice that he has 14 for heading and marking, whilst also being well rounded in the other areas important to a central midfielder. In 2033, the save has taken his career path to Real Betis via West Bromwich Albion. He has played 279 games in 10 years, and he has shown signs of big improvement. At the age of 27, he is now coming into his prime as a footballer. Still blessed with a good set of physicals, he's had a big step forward in his mentals too. 16 for concentration, 15 for positioning and anticipation. In the technicals, there isn't massive leaps forward, but that matches up well with the mentals, and you can see he's a solid, dependable midfielder who is now excelling at the highest level of Spanish football. Moscardo is attracting a lot of attention in real life. I think he is a player who will definitely receive an attribute boost in the winter update of the game, and should he continue his development, could become a big name in the footballing world. David Kaua is another player who has shone in the Palmeiras academy. He might not get the media attention of an Hendrick or an Estevao, but he certainly deserves to be watched. Recently being awarded Player of the Tournament in the CEE Cup, he has dreams of one day playing in the Champions League, and his idol is Lionel Messi. At the start of FM24, David Kaua is 18 years old, and he's a player that is showing a lot of ability, but also needs development. He plays in the game as a wide player, but has also been described in real life as a set-piece specialist who can play as a number 10. In the game, he possesses good pace and acceleration. In the mentals, he has standout of determination. In the technicals, he looks like a direct player who will run at defences. He scores well for dribbling, first touch, finishing and passing. In FM24, he is definitely going to need first-team football to nurture those abilities. In 2033, FM24 in this save sees David Kaua move to Portugal to play for Paços de Ferreira. At the age of 28, he has managed to play 231 first-team games and scored 28 goals. His main area of improvement is in his physicals, where his game is still built around his pace and acceleration. He has seen minor improvements in other areas and now has 15 for dribbling, 14 for flair, and still has that 16 for determination. I think he's a prime candidate to get an attribute upgrade in the winter update. He's been playing to a good standard in real life and has turned in some impressive performances both for club and country. I think he is a player to keep an eye on going forward, as he seems to have a lot more ability in real life than he currently does in game. There we have it then. Those are my 5 Brazilian wonder kids that I think you should be keeping an eye on both in real life and in Football Manager 2024 going forward. There are some real candidates here to make a big leap in their careers and take the next steps to fulfilling their potential in 2024. Right then, if you're still with me at this point of the video, firstly a big thank you. Secondly, if you could hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, I really would appreciate it. Cannot thank you all enough for the support you've given the channel across the past couple of months. Watching it grow has been fantastic. But for this one, I'm going to leave it there. Big thank you for watching. I'll see you on another video very soon.